What's up, everybody? Chris Wook Podcast here, episode 87. If you see us on YouTube right now, I'm bundled up again because up here in Pennsylvania, man, we had 2 days in the 50s last week. We're in February, early February. We just had Valentine's Day. We just had the Super Bowl. Wake up today, it's 16 degrees. What is my workout? I have to run. So what do? Bundle up and get out there and just get it going, man. You know, when you live in these temperatures like this, you just got to put the layers on. It doesn't matter where you are. If it's cold, layer up. Get yourself warm and continue to do what you got to do because we can't sit inside. We got to get outside. We got to see that sun come up. We got to get some of that sunlight hitting our bodies, hitting our eyes, and it's going to make us feel great. Now, we had Valentine's Day yesterday. Hopefully you guys didn't eat too much candy. You know, my daughter's in preschool. They did a cool thing where they were like, hey, bring in some stuff if you want to, but we're not going to eat it in school. You're going to have to take it home. By doing that, we're able to bring some stuff home. My daughter's unfortunately she's going to be 4 soon, but long story short, man, when she was a little bit over 1 year old, she was in the hospital for 5 days. She was sick. Early onset inflammatory bowel disease, things like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's. They're throwing these ideas back and forth. So we really monitor what she eats. Luckily for her school, they were allowed to bring in treats, but then they were like, nothing's getting eaten here. Take everything home. We brought it home. We divvied it up. Her little cute self was handing out some of her treats that she wouldn't eat to some of her middle school and high school friends yesterday here in the gym. And so yeah, now we're moving on, man. We're trying to prevent our kid from getting a sugar high, right? But that's a whole nother topic here, diets for kids and diets for adults. Valentine's Day went off pretty nice. Super Bowl was 2 days ago, right? I mean, we're talking the Bengals versus the Rams. My best friend growing up, man, since like preschool, Eric Gritta. Shout out to you, Eric. Diehard Bengals fan. When we were growing up until like middle school, early high school years, they were just god awful. Terrible, but yet this guy stood by their side. Then they had Carson Palmer, TJ Hushmanzada, Chad Ochocinco, and those guys on the defensive side of the ball. You know, then they started winning some games. They gave a little bit of hope, but it always got pulled out from them. This year, they get themselves to the Super Bowl after 2 awful seasons. They get their quarterback. They get a coach that seems to know what he's doing, and they're 2 minutes away from winning. And guess what? The Rams come back, score a late touchdown, and beat them. Now, as a former football coach, this type of stuff happens, right? We watch that momentum thing, man. How about it? First half, it looks like for the first quarter and a half, it looks like it's all Rams, all right? Looks like the Rams are going to be cruising. They got a nice lead, but then we botch an extra point. Who cares? 13-3, we got ourselves a lead, right? But then things change. We've got some ballsy calls by the Bengals coach. We got a toss pass, which gave me memories. It gave me a flashback to when I used to coach JV football at the high school level. We would open up every game with a halfback toss pass because this was only 1 year because our team, we were not good, man. We barely had enough kids to have a JV team that year. We had to manufacture points in any way possible. And if we could get a toss pass off for a big play to start the game, maybe score a touchdown, we were doing good. We were trying to steal 6 points when the other team wasn't even ready, when they're just kind of getting off the bus and getting to the field. So when I saw the toss pass and it worked in the Super Bowl, I was like, I gave the fist pump. I like that. Anyhow, we got a toss pass. We got the Bengals coach going for it on 4th down early. Didn't work. You saw what happened there. Rams score. Then the Rams just turn out and start playing awful football, right? Offensively, anyway. The second quarter, third quarter, into the late second quarter, into the late fourth quarter, you know, they went two quarters of just like being miserable. Their defense was they were playing this field position game. The Rams defense was trying to keep them in it, trying to give them good, advantageous field position, and then they just weren't able to capitalize until Sean McVay does a freaking crazy call on 4th and 1. He does like an end around to their top receiver, Cooper Kupp, where if that thing would have got blown up, which it was very close to getting blown up in the backfield for a loss, the Bengals were cruising to their first ever Super Bowl, right? Because we got to remember, back in, I think, 1988 or 89, the Bengals had themselves another Super Bowl. They had their first Super Bowl win until a guy by the name of Joe Montana ruined it. Bengals fans' hearts get ripped out once again, this time at the hands of Matt Stafford and the Rams. Ballsy call. Rams get the ball. They get that 4th and 1 on a crazy call. They're scoring. Questionable holding call, all right, against the Bengals, whatever. Gives them another down. Then they get a pass interference call. Ball goes to the 1. Stafford runs a quarterback sneak, gets stuffed. They say, screw it. We're throwing the ball. Cooper Kupp comes down with it. Bengals fans are heartbroken. Eric, my buddy, I'm sorry that this happened to you. Better days are coming, okay? Stay the course, trust the process, whatever cliche you need to hear, man. The Bengals are hopefully on the rise. Hopefully Joe Burrow's all right. Hopefully they keep it moving in the right direction now. Moving on now. Reaching new heights, it's going to be the theme of this, right? The Rams just reached new heights. We're trying to reach new heights in our own personal life, and that's why we go to our guy by the name of Benjamin Franklin, right? I've been talking about my New Year's resolution since, who knows, a couple weeks now, right? So, and the focus for me this week was industry, right? And that's lose no time. These are Franklin's words. Lose no time. Be always employed in something useful. Cut off all unnecessary actions, all right? If it's not important, cut it, okay? You know, for a lot of us, we rush from thing to thing. We feel like we don't have time for anything. But if we really did an inventory on how we spend our days, you know, maybe our days don't feel like Groundhog's Day where everything's the same, every day's the same, rushing back and forth, doing this and that, right? I think we could all find a few pockets of time over the course of our day. You know, you could find 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. But if you do that a few times a day, you're going to find yourself having 30 to 60 minutes of some time for you to work on a project that you want to work on, to maybe clean the house, or maybe organize this, organize that. Maybe you could just go a little bit early to go pick your kid up from school and have the time to get a latte if that's what's going to bring you joy. Or maybe you could get a 20-minute walk in while you're waiting for this or that. You know, it's like we got to find time to take care of ourselves. But the inverse of that is going to be to be too time conscious, I guess, where we're trying to maximize our time, maximize our productivity at the expense of our family, our friends, or out of ourselves, which is kind of where I'm at right now, where I haven't taken a vacation. I don't even remember the last time I took a vacation that lasted more than 5 days. Tomorrow, as long as I could get through TSA, we're going to be there. Now, why would I have an issue with TSA? This is a long story, and I'm going to try to sum it up. Summertime, my information got stolen. Identity theft occurred, right? I've had multiple issues until my birthday, December 6th. I got the phone call. Somebody rented a U-Haul truck using my license with their picture. Luckily, I'm of a different skin color of whoever rented this vehicle, or else I probably would have been a suspect, right? So this man rents a vehicle, gets into an accident. The person on the other end of the accident does not survive the accident. This man driving the U-Haul truck just takes off, all right? Still a fugitive. My understanding, he's still on the run. If there's anything tagged in my name, I have a friend who's a cop making a few phone calls for me today with the TSA where we're flying out of, just to make sure that there's nothing flagged on my account, because what I was told by the detective in Florida, if I step foot in Florida, he's like, just don't rent a car because it's gonna flag something. You know, he laughed about it, and I'm like, well, is this like forever? Like, I don't know the details behind this. Am I always going to be flagged? If this man's on the loose, which it sounds like he might be on the loose he might not get caught, right? Let's say he doesn't get caught. Is there always going to be a little bit of a flag next to my name? Who knows? Tomorrow, I hope we don't find out that there is, right? So we'll make a few phone calls at TSA. Already checked into my flight. Now we wait and see, right? Hopefully there's not a large contingent of officers waiting for me there. Maybe somebody's flying up from Florida as we speak. I'm just kidding. All right. Anyhow, all jokes aside, man, we got a vacation tomorrow. I haven't taken a vacation longer than 5 days in a long time. Why? Because I kept telling myself there's not enough time, right? I put this belief in my head that I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, right now I'm saying, who gives a crap, right? We're going for it. It reminds me of a quote from a guy by the name of W. Eugene Holland. What people believe to be true is often as important as reality. You know, there's examples of taking time away all over the place and how we're going to be how we're going to be more productive for it when we do take time off. One of those cases, you know, psychologist I was listening to, he was talking to somebody. It's like, this guy's just banging his head against the wall, just work. And he's like, if you take give yourself, 2 1-week vacations a year, and then just give it time, just trust it, take the time away, relax your mind, relax your body, come back, you're going to be better for it, right? This person trusted his psychologist, he did it, and he became more productive. At the end of the year, he was more productive in his business, right? This happened multiple times with this psychologist. That was the advice he gave out. I think about when you get to that point where you're pushing, all of a sudden you want to pull back and take some time away, right? So you push hard and you work like a dog, and then all of a sudden you give yourself some time to relax, all right? That's a principle that happens in the weight room. It's called overreaching, and a lot of strength coaches will do that, say, when their athletes are going into a holiday, say like a layoff, like Christmas break, right? So they'll push really hard because they know Christmas break's coming. Those guys we're not giving them a program, go home and do whatever you want for a few weeks, then we're gonna come back and hit it hard. For them to be able to push and reach a little bit beyond their grasp, reach a little bit to that next level, and then give themselves time to recover and let it sink in, they're going to be better off for it when they come back, right? This also applies to children and learning. The zone of proximal development, right? Vygotsky, I'm not sure what his name is. He came up with this where it's like, if you're trying to teach a kid something, you want them to reach a little bit further than what they can handle right now. And in doing so, they're going to try to expand their mind, expand their brain, all right? And then once they kind of expand, once they try to reach, let's pull back a little bit and let that kind of sink in and develop here. So it's like you want to just nudge, and then pull back. I'm not saying you teach them with these constraints where it's like, we're going to memorize this, we're going to memorize that. We're going to take that, Socratic method almost, try to let them expand a little bit on their own. We're going to try to nudge them to new heights. Then we're going to give them some time to let that skill develop, let that skill hardwire. Let them think about it a little bit on their own time, all right? On their downtime. Maybe they're in the room and you hear them practicing their counting or practicing how to spell their name. Or, if their school teaches them a different language, say, maybe you hear them practicing words like muy bien or, uno, dos, tres, whatever it may be, okay? The zone of proximal development, it happens in early education. You want your kids to reach a little bit beyond their current grasp, their current level, and then pull it back, all right? Let them let them have some time to develop that then, all right? The same with our training, all right? High school kids, we would push, vacation. Push, holiday. Push, President's Day, where they get an extra day, right? So you push them beyond, you push them to a point almost of overtraining, and then you give their body some time off to rest, recover, and then reach new heights. Because remember with exercise, right? We break down muscles. So if you constantly break down, and you don't give yourself time to recover and recoup, that muscle's not going to grow to new heights. The same with not taking a vacation. If you just push, and you don't give yourself time to relax, time to recover, time to recoup, you're just going to be in a constant state of stress, and you're never going to reach your full potential, really, and you're never going to be able to improve to the levels that you're capable of, all right? So with that being said now, we got a vacation coming up, right? Remember what Franklin said. We want to maximize our time, but not at the cost of our family, not at the cost of our friends, not at the cost of our well-being, all right? Remember that. Maximize your time, but be smart about it. Don't do it to the point where you're breaking yourself down. Now, I told some people that I was going on vacation. They asked, how do you handle training before vacation? Do you work out on vacation, I guess is the question that we're going to try to answer. And whether or not I work out on vacation is going to really depend on what I did leading up to vacation and how I plan on spending my days on vacation. Leading up to this vacation, after I came off of COVID-19, man, I took an extra week off just in case, because I didn't want to be one of these rare cases where I was feeling fine, but I'm like, you know what, I'll just relax a little bit. I have a heart rate monitor, and you can see your heart rate's still a little bit elevated, like maybe I'm fighting infection. Let's wait till it returns to normal, then give myself another 2 or 3 days. That's kind of what I did. And so I basically, I felt better. Let's say I was sick, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday a little bit sick. I gave myself to that following Monday or Sunday, I think actually. I worked out on Sunday. So I gave myself Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 extra days where I felt fine. I started to introduce light activity back in. Sunday, I lifted some weights, all right? 25-minute workout, nothing crazy. Now, since that point now, this is like mid-January, early January 10th roughly. January 10th to right now, February 15th, I pushed hard. And I went hard for 5 weeks. And I kind of beat myself up to the point that last Wednesday, Thursday, my body's just achy and hurting. And I had to take a long walk the next day because I was just not recovering the way I wanted to. But that was the point of this. I was going to push so hard. I was going to get to that point where I was kind of sick of the workouts. I was going to get to almost a level of overtraining so that when I go on this vacation, I could relax a little bit. I know that the travel day, I'm not going to work out. So tomorrow, our flight takes off at 6:40. I'm going to have to get up at 4-ish. We'll get to California at, our time, noon, their time, whatever it is, 3 hours before that. Then we're going to spend time with friends and all that crap, right? No workout tomorrow. Might be go for a walk. So I knew I would have a few days of just total rest and recovery. So I worked hard. I pushed hard. I pushed heavy. I pushed often leading up to this break. Now I'm going to give my body a chance to kind of recover. It's the same thing, the example I gave with that man who didn't want to take time away from his job. It's the same thing I said about training those kids. It's the same thing I said about that zone of proximal development with learning, right? We want to reach, try to get to a new level. Take some time off. Let the body recover, let the body adapt. Because when it does adapt, it's going to be adapting at you're going to be a stronger person for it. That's where I'm at. So to answer the question, am I going to train on vacation? Maybe. But it's only going to be off, hey, the person we're staying with is like, hey, you want to go to the gym one day and it fits? Sure. Maybe I get one strength training session in. I'm not putting any rules on this thing. I'm going to go. I'm going to try to walk as much as possible. I'm going to try to get on the beach. I'm going to try to get some vitamin D. I'm going to try to enjoy everything that San Diego has to offer. Because like I said, man, it was 16 degrees here when I ran this morning. Same time, it's 56 out there, man. So I'm looking forward to getting some warmth. I'm looking forward to get rejuvenated. And I'm looking forward to hopefully doing some new things out there that I've never done before. We have a close friend out there. Our daughter, Emmy's been pumped about this. She's pumped about seeing her, our close friend, and we'll be doing all that touristy type stuff, probably San Diego Zoo. Apparently there's Legoland out there. Maurice has a conference one day. Who knows? Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, man. I'm looking forward to the travel. I haven't been on a plane in a few years, and this has nothing to do with COVID. I just didn't give myself that time. I didn't give myself time to leave, you know? And that's something I struggle with. So to get reminded of that, to kind of bring this thing full circle, to try to tackle some of this stuff that Ben Franklin talked about in the 1700s, right? You know, we want to be as productive as possible, but just be careful, tread lightly. Don't do it at the expense of your own body and your own self now. All right, now, thank you, everybody. Now, just a quick reminder, man, this Chris Folk podcast is on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Google. It's on Stitcher. What else did I forget? It's on Apple, right? Like it, subscribe, and try to share with some friends. I'm trying to expand this a little bit. I'm trying to reach a new network of people here a little bit. You know, this is a lot of stuff that I think about, and I think it applies to all things that we do, all things fitness, being a parent, and then just personal well-being, right? That's what the Chris Folk podcast is all about. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, right? See you guys in a week. Peace.